All right, adding and subtracting rational expressions, always a crowd pleaser. So the first thing I need to do is I need to take a survey here of all the factors that are involved in these two denominators. I could even break down the 4 and the 6 to see what prime factors are involved there. So if you were doing common denominators, back in the day, would you have chosen 24 for these two numbers? Because really that's a little bit too big, and you could just go with 12. So what I need to represent is I need 2 2s and a 3. So my common denominator is going to have a 12. That means this fraction needs to get multiplied top and bottom by 3, and this fraction needs to get multiplied top and bottom by 2. Now, do you feel like we have the 12 taken care of? So next, we look at the x squared and the x. Well, I don't need to go x cubed. That would be too big. But to make this turn into an x squared, I need to multiply top and bottom by x. The only remaining term we have to, or factor we have to look at is the y squared. I'm going to need to attach a y squared over here. Okay, so my denominator has an x squared and a y squared, and we took care of that in both terms. So last thing we need to do is see if there are any like terms. And I have a 3y squared and a 10x. I think we're done. All right, try this one on your own. Pause me and then let me catch up. Common denominator is oftentimes with variables, oftentimes it's just the product of those two. So I need a times a minus 5. So I need to do a minus 5 top and bottom here, and I need to do a top and bottom there. So my common denominator, a times a minus 5, and I'm going to distribute. I'll get 2a minus 10 minus 3a. Then I start looking for like terms. So I'm going to have negative a minus 10 over a times a minus 5. The only thing I could really factor out here would be a negative 1, but I still don't see anything that can cancel. All right, this is the hardest type of all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to factor this denominator to see what needs to get represented here. I know I need an x plus 1. I know I need an x minus 6. Well, conveniently, this one factors to x minus 6 times x plus 1. So my first term needs x minus 6 top and bottom. My second term needs x plus 1 top. My third term is good to go, but I don't want to forget to change those signs. Okay, common denominator, x minus 6 times x plus 1. Numerator here, I'm distributing a 1, so I get x minus 6. Numerator here, I'm distributing an x. And here, I have to remember that I'm changing both signs. Okay, now what? Now we're going to look for like terms. X squared seems to stand on its own. I have plus x minus 5x. And then I have a minus 6 and a plus 2. Now, instead of doing what FOIL down here, what I want to do up here is see if I can unfoil. Let's see if this factors. Oh, look at that. If it factors, sometimes stuff cancels. So I hope my final answer is x minus 4 over x minus 6. What do you think? Try some on your own.